Chelsey here with In Session Fitness, and today we're going through a simple circuit workout that's great for the entire family, adults, kids who might be studying from home right now. This workout is strictly no equipment. If you have a mat, great. You're also going to need some decent shoes. If you don't like to work out with shoes, it's totally on you. But how we're going to do this today is we're going to do a quick warm-up. We're going to get everything loose and ready to go, and then we have a circuit of about 5 moves. We're going to go through 1 through 5, take a quick break, do the whole circuit again, and then end with a cool down. Let's get started. We're going to start with neck rolls. You're just going to loosen up your body a little bit and start dipping your head forward, rolling it all the way back and forward. Go ahead and do the opposite direction. And back. And back again. Kind of toss your head from side to side. We're going to loosen up our arms. We're just going to go ahead and do some of these. You can go lower if you want to. Just stretch everything out. Get everything real loose. We want to make sure that we're nice and ready to go when we start going through our circuit. If you like to work out with music, that's totally fine. Go ahead and turn some on. I wanted to keep it pretty clean here so you guys could hear me and what I was doing. Alright, we're going to do a torso rotation, so we're going to keep our feet hip width distance apart, put our arms out, and then turn to the side. Make sure you feel a nice pull through your obliques. And then back to center. Opposite direction. Keeping our feet firmly planted. You're going to feel a nice little stretch. Back to center. And then we're going to go ahead and start doing high knees. Now we're just going to easily come up and down, up and down. This is going to prepare us for more of our dynamic movements. So after this, we're going to go ahead and do some high knees at more of a quicker pace. If a quick pace is uncomfortable for you, you're going to go ahead and just stay right here. Easily stretching that hip muscle, up and down. We're going to do it a little bit quicker, so we're going to do high knees. If you want to keep it at a slower pace, go ahead and go back to what we were doing before. Try to get those knees as high as possible. All right, we're going to transition here shortly. We're going to do crosses. So you're going to keep your feet out, 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 and in. That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. There you go. Again, if this is uncomfortable for you, go ahead and walk it off. All right, we're just about done there. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our circuit now that we're fully warmed up. So here's our circuit portion of the workout. We have 5 main moves we're going to focus on. We're going to do them in order of 1 through 5. Take a 30-second to a 1-minute break and do it all over again. During this first round, I'm going to show some modifications and ways that we can make it more challenging for you. So while I'm doing these modifications, feel free to continue on with the moves where you feel comfortable, and we're going to do about 12 to 15 repetitions per move. Let's get started. Our first move is a body weight squat. For those of you who aren't familiar with squats or maybe need a little bit of a reminder on proper form, we're going to keep our feet shoulder hip width apart, and then we're going to drop down like we're sitting in a chair. We're going to do a very controlled movement, keeping our chest up. So we're going to go all the way down. And when we come up, we're going to snap, but we're going to squeeze our glutes or our butt cheeks and hold them together like there's a quarter in there that we can't let drop. So we're going to do 12 of these right now. All right. So we're going to keep a mild movement pattern right now. If you need to, you can slow down, or you can go ahead and control your movement. So if you can't go as low, you can make it easier by maybe going only half this distance. But always make sure that your chest is staying straight back. We constantly see chest leaning forward, and that's kind of a no-no with this move. All right. So this next move we're going to roll into is the standard push-up. Same push-ups that you've done since you were in middle school, elementary school. You're going to walk yourself out into a straightforward plank and go ahead and drop down as far as you can go. For the modifications, you can go ahead and sink your knees back a little bit further so you're making more of a diagonal here. Cross your feet and then drop down as far as you can go here. Nice and slow. Make sure you get all the way down. To modify this also, you can go smaller portions down. And then the final modification, please continue with your push-ups, final modification that you can do. If you put yourself up against a wall, go ahead and give yourself an angle, putting your hands up, and then going ahead and releasing yourself to the wall and back. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable on this. All right, on to the next. We're doing jumping jacks. Again, same movement you've probably known since elementary school. We're gonna do 12 to 15. To help modify, you can go ahead and take a step out, alternating. If you're not a really big fan of jumping, or if it makes you feel uncomfortable, continue with this movement. All right. Now our next pattern, we're moving into a hip bridge. You're gonna lie down on the floor or a mat if you're working with one today. You're gonna take your feet and get them as close to your butt as possible. Now the movement pattern is we're going to drive our hips, you can say hi to my buddy over here. We're gonna drive our hips to the ceiling, but we're going to put all of that weight into our heels when we drive forward. So that movement is going to be controlled with the hips all the way up. So you're gonna roll up, putting some of that support right in your shoulders, and you're gonna keep it up here for about 2 seconds. This movement really isn't something that can be modified. The only way that you're gonna make it easier is if you don't go as high. All right. If you want to make this movement more challenging, you can go ahead and do this with a single leg. What that's gonna look like is you're gonna drop a leg down. You're gonna drive all the way up. That leg's gonna come with you. But you wanna make sure that your hips are still straight. You don't want any of this tilting. All right. Toby over here wants to do them too, so don't mind him. All right. Finally, we're gonna move on to one of my favorite moves. This portion is gonna focus on our abdominals. This move can be a little bit challenging if maybe you have some tightness in your hamstrings, maybe in your hips. So you can go ahead and do whatever crunch style workout, whether it be bicycle crunches or standard crunch form that you like. We're gonna go ahead and do, if you're familiar with yoga, a downward dog. You're gonna walk your hands out. Here, my other friend here, Bella. You're gonna take your toes and drive through, getting yourself into this nice little tented form. When we do a downward dog crunch, we're gonna raise one leg up, bring it all the way through to the opposite side, lift it back up, and drop it. That's considered one move. Up, driving all the way across, up, and down. To modify this, you can go ahead and just take it as little as you want to without the extension, just by switching one to the other. All right. How are we feeling? Feel a little bit of a burn? We'll do one more. Good. All right. We're going to go ahead and walk it out. This is a place we're going to rest for about 30 seconds to a minute. And when we come back, we'll do the whole circuit together without me walking through modifications. All right, so while you're taking this time, this next 30 seconds to a minute or so, to rest in between this circuit break, I want to remind you that while we're doing these moves, you should be engaging your core as much as possible. It'll help get you as much as you can out of these moves. Some of the other things I want you to think about is form. Try to do the best you can with the form that you have. So as we're guiding, if you're feeling like you're a little off, go ahead and slow it down and get back to where you need to be. All right, we're gonna go through this next round of circuits, no modifications or no me speaking of modifications, and we're just gonna rock it out right now. All right, let's get started with those body weight squats. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, keep that chest up. 6, 7, 8, 9. Squeeze that butt. 11, 12. All right. Let's go ahead with those push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, you can do any modification that you like. 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, we're hopping up for jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Popping back down for hip bridges. This workout was designed for you to go up and down, so if you feel like we're standing, then we're laying, then we're standing again, it's for a reason. You get a little bit of cardio in as well. Go ahead and squeeze for 2 seconds at the top. All right. Here's 5. Remember, we're going to control back down to 6, 7. Feel free to bring your pets into this. I mean, that's what they're here for, right? All right. A few more. Here's 10. Remember to squeeze those abdominal muscles. Engage that core. Last one. And down. All right. Flipping over for those downward dog crunches. All right. There's 1. 2. All right. Don't forget your modification here. You don't have to do the leg extension if you don't want to. So it'll really just look like this. All right. All right. You should really be feeling it in your core right about now. All right, go ahead and finish those up, 12 to 15. We're gonna come back, have you do your 30-second to a minute break, and we'll go for our cool down right after this. All right, so now that we're going to rest for the next 30 seconds to a minute, we're actually gonna roll into the cool down. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of ready for it. However, if you need or want to challenge yourself, do that circuit a 3rd or a 4th time. That's what it's there for. Really challenge yourself. Really think about the muscles that you're engaging and that you're trying to work. All right? So our cool down is simply 2 moves, and you can expand on this as much or as little as you like. We're going to go ahead and just do a long body stretch, and we're going to take from yoga a little bit and do a child's pose. So let's go ahead and start with that. You're going to lie down and just give your whole body 1 long stretch. In my case, we're partnering up with the cat. Again, go ahead and stretch everything out. Flex your toes forward. Just go ahead and give your abdominals kind of a nice firm core stretch, okay? We're going to hold this for about 10 to 20 seconds. All right. You're going to go ahead and sit up. We're going to do a child's pose, which is pretty easy. If you're not familiar, you're going to go ahead and sink back on your heels. Move your hips or move your legs out, kind of in a V shape, to where your toes are touching back here. You're going to sink your hips back, and then you're just going to flex forward. You're going to let your head fold to the mat and sink your hips back a little further. We're going to hold this for 10 to 20 seconds. We're going to prop ourselves up and just give ourselves a nice little back stretch. So we call this cat pose in yoga, but you're just going to go ahead and pull yourself up. Bring your abdominals closer into your spine. And then you're going to flex it back out by pushing your hips out. You're going to feel a stretch right through your hips and along through your back. All right. So that will do it. If you have any questions or if you have anything that you want to see from us, any specific type of workouts, feel free to email us at letsdothis@insessionfitness.com.